Crafternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today we're going to have some fun because I am going to be playing with our new Give a Gift die set that comes in the brand new A Little Something card kit. This card kit is our holiday card kit, and it's just jam-packed with $167 worth of merchandise, all for only $69.95. It is such a great value, and one of my favorite products in this kit, well, I say one of my favorites. I have so many favorites, but one of my favorite products in this kit is this die set. Not only because it is a great useful tool for holiday gift giving, but it's great any time of the year because it isn't geared toward Christmas. Like, it's not a Christmas wreath or a Christmas ornament. It's a coffee cup and a gift. So those two items can be used for birthdays, for retirements, for graduations, for weddings, for anything really. And, just gifts of friendship. Maybe somebody at work has a birthday and you do a coffee cup. So many ways to use it. I'm going to make mine a little bit more festive today because I am starting to think about my Christmas cards and stuff like that. But you can decorate yours any way that you want, and there's so many ways to do it. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Happy Crafternoon.
How are you doing?
I am better than horrible.
We had a great night last night, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We had such a fun night last night, guys. You know what happened? We became part of the cat distribution system. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but that is where you have no intention of getting a cat and one is bestowed upon you. So last night, Tom and I got a cat. I woke up yesterday morning with no intention of ever owning a cat, and by 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, we are the proud owners of a Maine Coon. It is the cutest cat. Tom, is it gorgeous or what?
Oh my gosh, we have friends who just, had too much going on to be able to give it the love they know it needs and wants. And when I went to visit, it was all over me.
Yeah.
And instant true love.
So it picked the empty nesters who have a little bit more time in the evenings to spend with it. So you guys want to see a picture of him? His name is Zeus. So let's show him what Zeus looks like. This is Zeus.
Ooh.
Look at Zeus. He's so cute. Oh my goodness. So Zeus is our new mascot here at Gina K Designs, and he is all ours, and we love him. We love him already. He was cuddled up all night. Just adorable. It's very dog-like, actually.
He's very chill.
Very dog-like. Yep, very chill. All right, so back to card making. Had to give you just a little life update, and now back to card making. But I'll tell you, my whole disposition, I feel better today. This cat is so good on my nervous system. I just feel happy, and I'm so glad that he found us. All right, well, like I said, today we're going to make a gift card holder, but I want to show you how to turn it into a gift tag. And then I have a sample to show you on how you use it as a card, so you can see the two ways to use it. So let's take a look here. This is the new card kit. It's called A Little Something, and it's got all of these fantastic products in it. If you haven't taken a look at this on our website, make sure you look at it, because when you see this list of what it includes, I'm telling you, there is so much stuff in here. It is a great, great value. This is the die set, and I put it on one of our storage boards. You can pick up our magnetic storage boards separately. We sell them on our website, and this is one of the 6x8 boards. You can fit the whole die set on here because there's lots of parts that can fit inside other parts, but this is a big die set. And we are going to make the coffee cup today, and I will definitely make a video using the gift as well, but I'm going to make the coffee cup. And so the pieces that you need are the cup, you need the cup lid, then you need the extra piece that goes on top of that cup lid to give it some extra dimension. You're going to need the bottom of the cup, that's down here. Okay. I'm going to use the snowflake, although you don't have to do yours with the snowflake. If you wanted to make yours like a pumpkin spice latte, you can just pick a pumpkin from your stamping stash and stamp it out and color it and put that in there instead. I'm going to use this circle. But remember last month's kit, the autumn kit? There are some great images in that stamp set that could go into this cup, into this circle, like the pumpkin or the apple, if you wanted to do like an apple cider kind of thing, or I don't know. There's all kinds of different things that you can put in there. And then this is a little tag that's going to go on the side of the cup that tells them to open the lid. And then that's all you need to make the cup. But if you want to turn it into a tag, you would need this die and this little circle. Let's see, I think we need the smaller circle. This one is actually a little bit smaller. So you need those two dies right there to create that tag, that hang tag. And you know, this little piece right here is so interesting because you wouldn't think much of it. But this is a really great thing to have in your stash because you can make anything into a hanging tag, any die cut that you have into a hanging tag by adding this little piece onto it. So what's left behind here are the pieces. Oh, we need this too. This is the little, I think, is it called a cozy? I think that's what it's called, a cup cozy. Some people say koozie. I don't know. But it goes along the center of the cup here so that when the coffee cup is hot, it doesn't burn your hand. And so what's left behind is the gift. And the way that gets put together is you have the box and the lid. You have the ribbon for the box. And then you have the bow that goes on top of the lid. And then this, which goes onto the center of the bow that kind of connects the ribbon to the bow. So that is the way that you would assemble this one. But there's a couple little key elements to learn when you're making these because you want to cut out multiples of these dies so that you can actually create a little sandwich for your gift card to fit into. So let's get started with the die cutting. But before we do that, I want to stamp one panel. So one of the panels that I really like to do is this little part that goes around the little cup cozy here. I'm going to call it a cozy. I don't know if that's what it's called. If anybody knows, yeah, cozy or sleeve. Yeah, sleeve, that's good. I'm going to call it a cozy just because that's what's in my head now. So when you're doing the cozy, I always think that it would be fun to do one of two things. You could either, do you guys remember those turny things that put like ribbed lines into it? It's like a corrugator. They used to have them. They used to be very popular with crafting. You could corrugate this, however, it might be a little small. So once you get the corrugated lines in there, you might want to ink it up a little bit and then flatten it out so it fits. But you could do a corrugated thing across the center if you have one of those corrugators. I don't think I have one of those. I used to have one, but I think I gave it away a long time ago because I don't use it anymore. But also, I think this is really fun if you stamp it. And one of my favorite stamps for this is our close-knit background stamp. And by the way, I did see Brianne Loveland here before the live started. And Brianne, I just want to give you a big shout out. Thank you so much for all your help in the chat. Brianne is over here on our YouTube channel sharing links for things that I'm using because everybody always asks for the links. Or, you know, sometimes it's hard to find stuff. And Brianne is our rock star ninja who always shares everything and you can find it right away. All right, let me grab an ink pad here. I know my voice just disappeared for a second, but I'm going to use warm cocoa and I'm going to use craft cardstock to stamp this cozy. Now, I'm going to ink this up. This is the way I like to use our background stamps. I like to just use them on their back. I don't like to try to stamp it like a regular stamp. I just don't have the strength in my hands. I have some arthritis and that makes it difficult for me. So I would rather ink up the stamp really well with ink on its back and then lay the cardstock on top. All right, so I'm going to lay the cardstock on top here like that. And then I'll take the index sheet. This way I don't get ink all over my fingers. And I'll just put that on top, and then I'll just rub all over the surface. By doing it this way, it's really easy to make contact with the entire stamp without having to put a lot of pressure on it. Otherwise, sometimes with background stamps, I feel like I need to drive my car over them to get them to work. And this makes them work every time. All right, as long as I inked it well, it should work. Okay, so let's see what we have here. There we go. That is exactly what I want. Perfect. All right, now let me clean this background stamp. Yeah, you could accordion fold the paper, Sandra. That's a great idea. And then it would look just like it had that corrugated look to it. That's a great idea. See, our chat always has great ideas. That's why I love doing lives, because it's just not just me up here. It's all of us together. All right, so I'm going to get my Intracut die cutting machine here, and we're going to do a lot of die cutting. Okay, so let's start with this panel that I just made. Now for this one, this is the only one that you really have to worry about cutting straight because of the pattern in the stamp. You don't have to do a pattern in the stamp if you don't want to. You could always stamp it afterwards if you want to, but I'm gonna just find a spot here where it looks like it's centered and it's straight. And the nice thing about this stamp is because these are like rows of knitted design, I'm just going to line up the edge of the die with one of these rows. And I'm going to make sure that whatever's up here looks about the same as whatever's over here. And that will make it look more centered. Now that might be a little bit picky, you know, to be thinking about centering it that much. But I like the balanced look of it, so I'm going to do it that way. If you have a pattern that doesn't really have lines going up and down or side to side, then it really doesn't matter. Oh, you know why this isn't cutting? Because I have it on letterpress. Let me turn that to die cutting. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see how that came out. Looking good. There we go. So now we have our little cup cozy that's going to go right across the center of that cup. Yeah, I mean, we have so many great background stamps in our collection, and I could do another one here, which I'll do later, but, you know, no sense in wasting this, right? So I will save that for a little bit later. So the next piece that I want to cut is the big cup. And I'm going to make my big cup look like a Starbucks cup. So I'm going to use Christmas pine cardstock. Now you can use any color that you want. And I'm kind of thinking about what the Starbucks cups look like during the holiday season. So it's usually that pine green and some red in there. So that's kind of what I am modeling this after. All right, so I'm going to cut 2 of these. Okay. So this is going to be the front, and this is going to go right across the center like that. But then I'm going to need to cut 2 of them because I want to have a back part of my cup too. Now, if you are not making a tag, you really only have to cut 1, because what we're going to do is we're going to use some very thin tape down the sides, right, to tape this onto the card. And then my gift card is going to slide in there. So I really don't need to have 2 if I don't want to, if I'm making it a card. But if I'm making it a tag, I need to have a back, right? I need a way for, you know, I need to make like a little sandwich so that the card is encased in between them. So I'm going to cut 2 because I'm going to turn this one into a tag. Alrighty. There we go. So now I have 2. So now I have a back and a front of my cup. And when I glue those together, my gift card is going to fit right in there. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to need is some tops of my cup, my lids. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to cut a couple pieces all at once here. So this is the lid, but then there is a second piece to create some dimension for the lid. So I'm going to cut that. And then there's the bottom piece that is going to make the bottom of my cup white. And that's going to go down here. So I'm going to cut one of those. And then I'm going to cut one of these very delicate sequins, snowflakes. All right, so I've got all that on my die cutting machine. And then I'm actually going to cut one of these tags too, these tag toppers. And I think I'll wait on this because this I'm going to stamp first. I think it'll be easier for me to line it up if I stamp it first. Honestly, you know, when you make these things for the first time, it takes a while if you don't know how it's going to all go together. And it took me quite a while to make these, my samples, because oh no, what happened? Oh, look what I just did. I actually I cut my dies because this was stuck to the bottom. All right, well, let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can still make it work. If not, I'll have Tom get me I think, Tom, you're going to need to get me another set of dies. Can you do that? Please, don't just sit there. Get me another set of these. Can you believe I did that? Now, that can happen sometimes. And you know what? SOL, right? I should have been more responsible. I did not look for this, and it was stuck to my plate here. So that can happen sometimes. So Tom's going to go get me another set, and I will make some of the other pieces right now. So for the snowflake, I am going to need more than one, and I think I just dropped the snowflake die. All right, I'm going to pull this snowflake out of here, and I'm going to cut a couple of them because I definitely want there to be more dimension on the snowflake. You don't have to do this, but I don't know. Have you just seen how cute some of the dimension looks when you actually glue these things together and you pop it up? I just love that look. So I'm going to do that. All right, now this is a very delicate snowflake. So as you pull it out, just gently pop it out, and then you got to poke out all the little stuff in the holes. Look how cute that is. It's so delicate and skinny. I love it. I didn't know we could do it that skinny, so that gives me like a whole bunch of other ideas for designing dies going forward. So, and also, if you have a die like this that has little pieces in it and you don't want to poke every single one of those, just drop it like that. And did you see that little piece fly out? Well, if it's full, that makes it a little bit easier to get them all out. I almost did it again. Alrighty. It's okay. Stuff happens, right? And it's good for you guys to see that because that's a reminder to like make sure that you have eyes on all of your die pieces or that they're not stuck to the underside of your plate. All right. Thank you, Tom. Wow, that was fast. He had to run all the way back to the warehouse. Are you winded?
I am winded.
Thank you. Tom just brought every die set that we have back there just in case.
I don't know what you destroyed.
Oh, yeah. So you just got them all? Thank you. There we go. Now, I could do 2 or 3. I think 2 is going to be enough. I'm just going to glue these 2 together. Now, let's go back to another white piece here. And let's try that again. Can you believe that? Wow. I've never seen that happen before where like I've been able to bend them back, but I've never seen it break like that. So not worth trying to fix. Well, I don't know how I could even fix that. So let me pull this die set out here. This is the way it comes, just so you know. It comes on this board that has all the pieces. And I'm going to need this one. And also, somebody in our group, or one of the groups that I was in, was saying that these are really hard to get off. If you're trying to like get your nail under there, it can be hard to get off, but let me show you the easy way to get these off. Just bend the cardboard a little bit, and then you can just grab onto the side and they pop right off. So these aren't very hard to get off at all, actually. Okay. I don't think I destroyed the circle. No, I didn't. All right, so we're going to cut this now. Now I don't have to worry. Tom. What would I have done today, Tom, if you weren't here? Remember we talked about that this morning? And I was like, are you going to be back in time? What would I have done? I would have had to just, everybody would have just been sitting here commenting with nothing on the screen while I ran back there.
Cussy cutting.
Cussy cutting, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cussy cutting. All right, so I have one lid here, and I have one of these, and I have one of the bottom parts, and then I have this tag, which I'm going to put a hole in just a little bit, but I am going to cut out a few more of these. So I'm going to cut out another lid.
The next challenge is to make a card with those broken dies.
That would be a very interesting card. Maybe that could be your challenge, Tom. You could probably do it.
Oh, I could do that.
I know you could. You come up with all kinds of odd things. I'm just looking at my plate, making sure nothing is stuck.
I've been waiting for some broken dies.
You've been waiting for a challenge like that? Oh, I'll keep them then. And we'll see what you come up with. So here's a second one. I'm cutting a lot of these because I want this to have a lot of dimension. So I'm going to cut another set, one more of these. I don't know if I'm going to use that. And one more of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. I only have one of these, but that's okay. That's all I need.
So Janie's asking, so the back isn't going to have a cozy or a white top? Guess it could if you want.
It could if you wanted it to, sure. It's going to have a white top. And it definitely could have a cozy if you wanted it to. We could do that. We have that other one, that other piece. Why not? Let's do it. I didn't do that on my sample, but let's do it. I think that's a great suggestion. So, what do you think, Tom?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, especially if it's going to be a tag.
Yes.
You know, because when I did it for the card, I didn't really do that. But for the tag, you are going to see the front and the back. And it might be a really cute place to write the to and from on the cozy. Good idea. I love everybody's ideas. This can fit an A2 card, but it's going to be like the whole card. So I would suggest if you're going to make it a card, maybe make it an A6 card, which is what I did in my sample, or even a 5x7 card. So, and this might be more of a card that you would hand deliver just because it's got a ton of layers. However, if you don't put embellishments on it, it could definitely go in an envelope. And A2s and 5x7s go for the same price as a regular card. So, I mean, why not, right? All right, now let's put the hole in the center here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape these two together. I'm going to do two at once, but I'm not really doing two at once. What I'm doing is it's probably going to cut through just the front one, but I think it will give me the placement for the second one. So let's see how I can do this. I'm using masking magic to hold them together. And then I'm going to just put that circle right there, and I'm going to tape it down. So we'll see. I don't think it can cut through both. That might be a little thick, but we'll see. Oh, Pamela has cardstock with ridges. That's cool. That would probably look very cool. Oh, it did cut through both. Yay! All right, so now we've got both of these cut. Ooh, and I like it because it made like kind of a fancy impression there. I really like that. It's very fancy. Let's get that off of there. And now I'm going to cut one more. And don't worry if you get a little like tape stuck on there, because these can probably go back to back like that. So this will be the nice side. Now we're going to cut one more. And the way we're going to do this one is I'm going to line it up here. Let me get this masking magic off of me. I'm going to line it up here. Just going to tape that down.
Diana wants to know where you got your medical bracelet.
I got my medical bracelet at a company called Lauren's Hope. And if you go onto my blog, on the website, I have a little link there that says Things I Love, and I've got a link to the place where I got it. All right, so let's try that. So you see what I did? I used one that was already cut, and I just put the die through that hole to the one underneath. I think I need a little more masking magic here. Okay. And that should give me the perfect hole. We can't see it today, but what company? Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to know what she's talking about, this is my medical alert bracelet because I'm type 1 diabetic, and it just looks like a pretty bracelet here. So this side, it's like, oh, how pretty. And this side is like, oh my God, get help. Right? She's crashing. Get that girl a Snickers bar. And so most of you guys know that I'm diabetic. So if you ever hear any beeping, it's my pump. It just beeps for all different kinds of reasons. None of it is fatal. Well, I guess some of it could be fatal, but nothing that we have to worry about today. Okay, so now I've got these three, and I'm going to layer two together, and then I'm going to layer one the opposite direction so that I've got a nice thick hanging tag there. All right. And then there is a little bit of residue on here, which I can probably rub most of it off with my finger. But remember, this is going to get kind of encased down in there, so I'm not too worried about it. But we'll clean it up anyway. There we go. I'm just using my finger. You could use that mono sand eraser, but it just comes right off. Just be careful that your fingers aren't dirty when you do this. And when I say dirty, I don't mean that like you're dirty and you don't wash your hands. I just mean that like you don't have ink on your fingers, because that ink can transfer. All right, that's looking pretty good. So we'll put these two together like this, and that's the pretty side. And then on the back, we'll flip it around. So we've got the pretty side on the back too. And we've got three of them that will work together to make a nice thick hanger. Oh, work is getting in the way. Now I am going to cut a red circle, because this is where I'm bringing in that Starbucks red. So this is our red velvet cardstock. It's a great red for Christmas. I really like it. It's a real true red. Like our red hot is like a hot red, like almost has a tiny bit of orange in it. And our cherry red, which if you watched on release party night, Debbie Warner uses cherry red all the time. It's beautiful, but has just a hint of pink in it. So it's a pinkish deep red. I'll show you the difference here. You can probably see, like this is just a true red. This is the same red. I grabbed the wrong one. Here's cherry. So you see the difference? Cherry red is just deeper, and it's got almost a little hint of cranberry in it. Where red velvet is true, pure red, not orange, not pink. And then Red Hot, which I don't have any right now, that's actually being manufactured, is has like a calypso feel to it. It's very, almost a little neon-y bright. Okay, so I'm going to stop here with the die cutting. And we can start assembling this a little bit. And then I'm going to have to do a little more stamping so that we can like put some greetings on here. So let me zoom in a bit. Yes, I got a cat. I got a cat. Zeus. He's my little lion. Our little lion. I feel like I'm taking ownership. It's actually Tom. Tom was the one who started the whole thing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some gluing together. Now remember, when you have a piece like this that isn't symmetrical, the back is not going to be as pretty as the front. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to take my score tool and just flatten out the edges a little bit, because can you see that? How that just like cleaned up that edge a little bit? I don't know. It's so hard to tell. Here, if I hold it this way, see how it's kind of creased right there? Because it like gets curled over. Well, when you take your score tool to it, it kind of gets rid of that crease and it flattens it out just a little bit more. It makes it look just a little cleaner. So just for those back pieces, you can clean those up just by using your score tool around the edges. And so that will be the back, and these will be the front. All right. Now, what we want to do is we have to leave room in between there for the gift card to go in. All right. So let me get some tape. The tape that I'm going to be using today is our Terrific tape. It holds really well. You can also use liquid glue, which obviously holds really well, just takes a little bit longer to dry. So I might use a combination of things here. I definitely am going to use some liquid glue to glue these snowflakes together. And there is an orientation for these snowflakes. So you do have to find the right position for these to line up properly. That's not it.
Question from Clifford. How does the red velvet cardstock compare to your Christmas red cardstock that I purchased from you?
So Christmas red is really, really close to Red Hot. Red velvet is just a little bit more truer red. There we go. That's the good way to do it. It's a little more truer red, like red, as opposed to having any of that orange or any of that blue in it. But Christmas red is beautiful, so you could certainly use Christmas red. Alrighty, so I'm going to glue these together. And just going to use a couple little dots here. I'm not too worried about like getting it all over everything. Although I saw Kathy Zilski use like a silicone brush, basting brush, and she trimmed it down real short. And then she did like a squirt of glue and she dipped it in there and dabbed it all over. That's a really great idea. I think I'm going to try that. I've done it with my finger, but you definitely get very, very sticky when you do that. So let's try to line this up now. Did I not line it up properly? Oh my goodness, did I lose the orientation? No, I think this is going to work. What is going on with me today? I've got cat on the brain today. You know, yesterday, because I had seen the cat, just because we had to go over to their house, and that cat was on my mind all day. And I don't know if that's the way the cat distribution system works, where you start getting like obsessed with it and then it just comes to you. It's so funny. Okay, so now we've got our snowflake kind of doubled up there, and you see that just gives it more dimension. It like looks more 3D. It pops off of the circle a little bit more because of the second layer. So let's go ahead and add the second layer here. But I'm definitely a little distracted today. Obviously, I die cut my die cuts, my dies. So I'll blame the cat, but like not in a bad way. Okay, so I'm gonna line this up. I feel like I want it this way, but it won't matter because it's a circle. So as long as it's in the center, it'll be fine. I can turn it any direction I want. That looks pretty good. There we go. Might move it that way, just too much. There we go. So when you're doing this, you know, you might not want to drink the extra 6 cups of coffee in the morning. There we go. That looks pretty good. The nice thing about the glue is it gives you a little wiggle room, so if it's not exactly what you want, you can move it around. But I think that'll be good. All right, now also, if you guys have a heavy acrylic block, I have a couple different acrylic blocks, and I'm just going to put that on there to help get it to set a little bit. All right, now I'm going to... We're a mess today, guys. So I'm going to layer these 2 panels together just to give it a little bit of strength on the front. And I could have done that with glue, but I decided not to. All right. Now the key to this next part is to only adhere the tops and the little bit on the side because we need to leave a little space under here, right? So we're going to do that next. But before we do that, I'm going to get a sponge dauber. Let me see if I have one here. I should. I do. Okay. I'm going to get a sponge dauber, and I'm going to get, I don't know what's on here, but I'm going to get a little bit of gray ink. Let's get the soft stone because that's the perfect color. That is not soft stone. That was in the soft stone spot, and neither one of them had a label. That's the sea glass spot. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Soft stone. Okay.
Are these
Alarms are going off. Phones are going off. What?
are these what you would call catastrophes?
Catastrophes. Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is this is the piece that's going to go right here, all right? But it looks okay, but I want a little tiny bit of definition between them. So I'm going to take that sponge dauber and I'm just going to lightly, it doesn't look like much here, but I'm just going to very lightly go over the very edge of that. And you don't have to do this step. In person, you can see it really well, so you don't have to do this. But this, see how that creates a line there? Can you see the difference? All right, so there's that one, right? But before I did it, this is what it looked like. See, that little bit of dark line just creates a little more separation. So that might just be a me thing, feeling the need to do that, but I really wanted to do it. So I'm going to adhere these 2 together. I can use tape for this. I have to remember to put this one on the front. And this is creating that definition. Soon my pump will go off because it's that kind of day. And then I'm going to put that right on here, and that makes the cup look more 3-dimensional, right? Catastrophe. Tom, do you have a word for today?
I do have a word for today.
Okay, good, good. We definitely have to do that. All right, so now I've got that on there, and you can see that's getting nice and strong and rigid. Now for this side, since we're doing the back, I didn't think about doing the back. I want to do the same thing. I don't need to have quite as much dimension on the back, but I am still going to do that little bit of blending with the sponge dauber. The reason why I'm not using a blending brush is because I really only want it to touch the very edge, and a blending brush has like all those hairs on it, you know, and it'll make it a little streaky.
This kind of makes me want to build a real paper cup.
A real paper cup? Okay, and we'll get this on the back. And that also finishes off the edges a little bit too. It makes it look a little bit better because you are using the back side of that die. And so now these two are going to go together, and we're going to make that little opening for the gift card. So here is where I would add the gift card. Now, I like to use like something like that's strong enough, kind of like our Terrific tape, I think would be the best thing to use for this. You'll be able to peel that off. I'm just going to hide my number here, not because I don't trust you guys, but I don't trust a troll that might stop by. So I'm going to tear a little bit off here, and I'm just going to put it right onto the gift card right here, like that.
I could use a hot toddy.
You could use a hot toddy. I could use a hot toddy too. Okay. And now I'm going to put that, this is the back side because it's the thinner one. I'm going to put that right here in the center of the cup. Like that. And I'm just going to check to make sure that's going to look good. That will look good. All right, there we go. Okay, so now it's in there. Now we're going to put Terrific tape on the top and down the sides here. Okay. Tom does have a little froggy thing going on. He does sound a little froggy. He's got a little frog going, but he'll get better.
Anybody remember Lou Rawls?
Could you sing a little for us?
You will never find another love like mine.
That's perfect. All right. And then I'm putting a little piece here and here. Now to add a little bit more on the sides here, once I get all this in place, I am going to add a little liquid glue too. But the tape will hold everything in place while the liquid glue is drying. This better work. I am seriously, for those of you that just tuned in, Tom and I got a cat yesterday. We didn't mean to, but we love him, but I'm like distracted. I'm thinking about him. I'm like, is he okay? Does he need anything? Can I pick him up anything from the grocery store on the way home? You know, I'm just thinking of all the things. Okay, and now I'm going to add a little bit of the glue. Just a little bit in here.
Well, and if it does turn out that I'm allergic to the cat, you know who's going to go, right?
Yeah, it was nice knowing you, Tom. Okay, so now I'm going to put these two together. All right. And you know what? I'm going to just pull this away here. I'm going to take that out. That little piece of tape. I'm going to take that out. So don't put that on. Hopefully nobody has their kit yet, so they didn't make that. Don't put those little side strips on. We need that to stay open. Okay. We need that to stay open because we need it to be able to go under the cup like that. Oh, come on. Isn't this so cute, though? It's so cute. Yep, it's looking okay. It's good. I'm just making sure there's no glue, too. Okay. Now, let's adhere these two together. I'm going to need another one of these now because we're doing the back too. Well, that's all right. I have to do some more die cutting anyway. We can always throw that on at the end. So now we're going to do our cozies. And this, you got to get it into the right spot. You'll know because it won't hang off the edge. So if it's too high, it's not going to go side to side. And if it's too low, it's going to hang off the edge. So just like wiggle it into place until you feel that the sides are even. All right. And I'll do this with tape because it's easy to pull it off with the Gina K tape runner. Oh, that worked out pretty well. There we go. Very cute. Okay. And then we're going to do that to the other side too. Once you make one, and you're not trying to do it live with everybody watching, they're actually fairly easy to make. And I think that it's a great project. Like if you just die cut all the pieces, it's one of those like, oh, I can sit and assemble this on Sunday while the football game is on. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put terrific tape down the sides. We want to be careful not to tape too close to the center because we need this to be able to fit in there. So you can put the gift card up to it so you can kind of avoid getting it anywhere near the gift card, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. Let me move that out of the way. So we'll put it right there. What's nice about the terrific tape is you can just tear it. But I just wanted to double check that because the way things have been going today, there's a good chance that, you know, I put the gift card in the wrong place. And then we want to seal it up at the bottom too. You don't have to, but I mean, why have it flapping? The gift card won't fall out because it's attached to the lid. All right. Now, we'll get these two panels together. And once they're together, then we can press that down. And now, this gift card should fit in here, and it does. Now, I set it up so that it would fit just over the front for my card, but because we're making this into a tag, you could have it overlap if you want, but it doesn't have to because it's a tag, which is nice. And the reason why it's different with a card is because I was trying to fit it onto the front of the card, so I needed it to go a little bit lower, but I think this is perfect. All right, so there we go, and then ta-da! But if you want, you can like pull this up and just put it under there just for the purpose of, you know, getting it under there.
All right, we all want coffee and Italian food now.
There we go. So now it's kind of, I know we do, right? Okay. Okay, now let's put this on to decorate it. Put this on the center, like that. You can also pop this up if you want, but there's a lot of dimension here already, so it's not really necessary to pop it up. I'm just going to put that in the center. Now, I'm not going to put one of these on the back. You can if you want, but I think the back would be a great place to do the to and from. So we could cut another one, and then you could stamp to and from with white embossing powder for the back circle. Or you can just stamp to and from right on here. You could do a square, whatever you want to get that to and from on here. Okay? And I do think that it would be nice to seal up those sides. And I might do that later. I might put a little glue in there and just seal that up. But it does make it easier to get it open and shut if they're open. So maybe we'll just leave it the way it is for now. But I love the idea of doing that cozy on the back too. It feels more cohesive, right? Okay. And the one thing that I forgot to do, that I wanted to do for you guys, was put that hang tag on there. But I'm going to do it on the back, I think. I think I'm going to do it right on the back. Let's see if we can make that work. And the reason why I wanted to wedge it in the middle, but I also think it might be a little bit too thick to wedge in the middle. So maybe we'll just attach it to the back. It's going to look clean. So I think that might be good. And then we'll put this one on this side, just to give it dimension. That's my grubby hands there. This is such a fun little gift. I was talking to some of the ladies at work, and you know, most of us are empty nesters around here. So we have adult children, and gone are the days where, you know, you go to the toy store and you get a million little, not a million, but a bunch of little toys, a lot of little things to open up. Now when you say to the kids, what do you want? What do you want for Christmas? That money. Money. I need money. Got to pay my bills. I need money. And so gift cards are just such a nice gift for these young people today. But it feels so sterile to give people money. It's like there's no excitement, you know, it's just like, here's a card with some money in it. So I think it's kind of fun to have a cute little way to present it, you know, a little present or a little coffee cup or something like that. So we can stick that on there like that. We can do that, and we'll glue that right on there.
So Brienne posted this.
Our Brienne?
Yes, the Bruins do really bad when she crafts while they play. She's a little superstitious, so can't do it anymore. She sacrifices her craft.
Oh no, Brienne.
For the Bruins.
Brienne, so much sacrifice. You know, there are things like that though, right? I mean, there are people that feel like if they do a certain thing or they say a certain thing or they eat a certain breakfast that their team does better. So we appreciate you sacrificing yourself.
Yeah, my guess
team.
is that's pretty rare. That's a pretty rare thing to happen.
Yeah, probably. Go Brienne, though. All right. And here's the last little piece that I'm going to put here at the bottom. You can see how that really kind of finishes things off down there. We don't do any of that. We don't sacrifice anything for the Packers, do we?
I don't think so. Sometimes maybe a few hours in the afternoon.
Yeah. That's about it, right? So you can see that by putting that bottom on there, it just kind of finishes off the look, right? Okay. So let me clean my space here because I have ink, because I didn't use my ink stand like a dummy. Brienne, you didn't text me, use your ink stand when I was sponge daubing to daub. Look at these dies. For anybody that's just joining us, I actually die cut my die by accident. Tom had to run and get me a new set. So go back and watch that moment, and you'll never feel bad again about anything that you do.
Gina the Die-Stroyer.
Ooh, I like that. Is that like a superhero? All right, so I found this white twine. That's kind of fun. And I'm going to put that on the front, on the tag. And then what I like to do is I like to cut a fairly long piece, fold it in half and in half again, and then send that through my hang tag and then back like that. And then do a little knot up here at the top. And now we're going to decorate it with some stamps. That's kind of cute. I'll just cut that there. Okay, so now we're going to decorate it with some stamps. So we could do any of these things. We could do a little gift inside. We could do a little something for you. Maybe this is a thank you gift for somebody, and you could do thanks for all you do. You could do a gift for you. You deserve it. So I think what I'll do is I'll do a little gift inside, and I'll put that on this side. A little gift inside, and then the to and from. So maybe I'll do that one in white on the back, and I'll stamp it in the red. So let me get a piece of white cardstock, and I think I'm going to do the die cutting first, and then I also need to die cut another one of these for the back to make it match. Yes, exactly. This is an ornament it's an ornament that's also a gift tag, right? Isn't that so cute? And I'm going to show you the card that I made too. But I just wanted you to see the assembly process, and it's a little bit, takes a little bit of time, but not that much. And it's certainly a very, very sweet way to offer a gift card to somebody. So let's cut these two out. Well, thank you, our little Zeus cat, who's new to our family. We love him already. Very attached. He was very upset when I left this morning. I had to put a gate up because he wanted to come with me. Somebody told me that orange cats are very outgoing and friendly. There he is. That's Zeus. So somebody told me that orange cats are very outgoing and friendly. And I don't know why they would be any different than any other cat, but so far I am finding out that this cat is a very outgoing and friendly, loving little cat. So I won't say that we rescued him, but we gave him a home because his home wasn't working out where he was. All right, let's fix that so that's in the right spot. Down just a bit and over just a bit. There we go. So now the back has the bottom part and the front has the bottom part. Okay, and then we've got to stamp our little stamp. So, I'm thinking that if I put a little gift inside, that is going to be, I don't know, I think that that's not going to leave me room for the to and from. So I'm just going to stamp the to and from. And they are two separate stamps, so we'll just do the to here and the from. And then I don't know if you ever saw this little trick, but this is a good little trick. You could take your acetate sheet from your stamp set. This is the acetate sheet. And if the stamps are tiny and sticky, what you can do is you can lay that on top and you can position it where you want it, right? So we've got the to here and like stick it to the acetate. And then we've got the from here. And it's kind of stuck to the acetate, right? Like that. And then I'm going to try to pick those stamps up. Now I can pull that acetate off. And now the stamps are in the right spot. So I'll stamp that with some red velvet to give it a little bit of color.
Barb wants to know if this would work for cash too. Of course.
I think it would. I think you could definitely, kind of roll up the cash in there and stick it in there. Probably the cash you wouldn't even need to like stick it quite as much. Like with tape, you could probably just, if it's like a little wad, it would probably just stick in there by itself. That's true. That's a good idea, Kathy. Kathy said you could also put a piece of cardstock in there the size of a gift card and attach the cash to that. That's a great idea. Alrighty. And then we'll pick this up and we'll pop this on the back. And that'll give us a place to do our to and from. Just like that. So we've got the to and from, and then we've got the little oops. Tape that down in there a little bit better. I think I pulled the tape up with that tool. All right, so there we go. So we've got that in there. And that sticks in there pretty cute. All right, now let me show you the card that I made that I think, to me, is super fun. I like putting it on, I'm going to back out just a little bit. I like putting it on the front of a card as well. Now, for this one, I think I would stamp open the lid right here, just so people know. You could do a little side tag if you want, but I think stamping it right on here or right up here, open the lid. I'll show you how like that would fit in there. Where'd the stamp set go? Here it is. So see how it would fit right up there if you wanted to put it there, or you could just put it right here off the side of the lid where it says open the lid. But I think it's kind of like, if they know it's a gift card that, you're giving them a gift card, they're probably going to know that they're supposed to pull the top off. Or you could just say, open the lid, pull the top off. Let me put this back on there the right way. There we go. Because I like it down just a little bit more. Okay, so here's the one that I made for, and I'm going to add some embellishments to this, but here's the card that I made with it. So it's the same exact layout, but the lid opens this way, and I've got a coffee thing. And the reason why this one is sliding just a little easier is because I cut the back off here. See that? I trimmed off this little back part. So this way I only have to get the front of the lid to go over it. And you could do that too. You could trim off the back. It's just we were trying to make the back look exactly like the front, and that's why. But if you just trim that off a little bit so it would just butt up against it on the back, then it'll make it very easy to open and close this. But that's pretty easy to open and close too. And then for this card, I did put the open the lid right here. And then I used some of our iridescent dots. So I'm going to put some iridescent dots on this one too. I love these embellishments. If you don't have these embellishments, they are so fun. They're super shiny and they lay completely flat, which I really like. It makes it really easy to mail with these embellishments on here. Super easy. I did a big blob there, so I'll just use what I already squeezed out.
Shall we sneak in a word of the day?
Yes, while I embellish.
It's a very little word of the day.
But we're ready. We need a word of the day.
Okay. Have you ever seen an advertisement or otherwise were notified of a podcast that looked really good? And so you set it up, you listen to it, and 10 minutes in, it's like drinking a glass of dry sand. Just doesn't interest you at all, just not doing it? Well, apparently not. That is an example of a plodcast. Clean and simple word of the day.
I like your description. Drinking a glass of dry sand.
The plodcast.
The plodcast.
Back to the dead space.
Now I'm trying to find all the same color here, which are these little turquoise ones. That's a good word. Do you guys listen to a lot of podcasts? I'm curious how many people listen to podcasts. I thought about doing a card making podcast, but I'm not sure if it would translate well, you know, like so much of what we do. I mean, we could talk about like industry stuff and all, but like so much of what we do is so visual that I'm not sure how exciting that would be compared to like just getting in here and crafting.
Oh, here's a good one.
What's that?
Little Lane Crafts. Let's see. Gotta find it
Are you
here.
looking for a comment?
Little Lane Crafts with Rachel said, and if you fall asleep while listening to a podcast, it could be a nodcast. Oh, I like that
There
one
we go.
even better.
A nodcast. That's perfect. I love it. Oh my gosh. No, it looks like some people like podcasts, but maybe it's like different kinds of podcasts.
Oh, I like them. I like them a lot.
You like them?
Just once in a while, you hit one that just wasn't what you expected.
It's true.
It happens.
All right, so here we go. You can see when I add those little iridescent dots, look how that lights up. I just love those embellishments, and they're just flat as a pancake. So you can put them anywhere. I have them on the snowflake on this one, but I also have them all in the background. See them all in here? So those are super fun. So if you're ever in a position where you're like, oh my gosh, I need just like $5 more to get the free set or to get free shipping, throw a pack of those in. You won't be disappointed. They're so cute, and I love the way they look. All right, so that is the assembly after a broken die, a phone call, my pump going off. Whew! Glue in the wrong place. We made it through, guys. We made it through. Well, I hope that you guys like this. What do you think, Tom?
I'm ready for a cup.
You ready for a cuppa?
Yeah.
Cup of Joe? Yeah, me too. I could use that too. I think this is a lot of fun. I hope that for those of you who got the kit, that you'll try making this right away as soon as you break out your kit. If you haven't gotten the kit yet, they are getting very limited, but there are still a few available. So if you want a great kit with a great value, it's called A Little Something, and it is just filled with really, really fun products that you can really have a lot of fun with. I love the idea of the hanger. You know, I wanted to explain how that worked, and I wanted you to see what this looked like. But I really love putting it on a card. So this is an A6 card. I used Master Layout 17 to do that background. And then I used our snowy background in light spruce ink. And then anywhere that there were openings, I just added those iridescent dots to just fill in. And then I used red velvet here for this cardstock too. So, you know, this is a card that also is a gift, and this is just a gift card tag kind of thing. This might be great to attach to a present, you know. Maybe you got somebody a nice new coffee mug, one of those travel mugs, and then you wanted to give them a little $10 Starbucks card or something. You could attach this tag to the gift, and that would be cute too. So lots of different ways to use this. Of course, you can use this for anything. It doesn't have to be for the holidays. Switch up the icon. Instead of a snowflake, do a pumpkin and make it for a pumpkin spice latte for autumn. Maybe do a little candy cane or do a little snowman. You could do something that's completely like a birthday present in there. Lots of little icons that you can put in there to make it for different occasions. So, all right, Tom. Well, this was super fun today. So if you guys liked today's video, and we sure hope that you have, if you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, that really does help our channel, and it can let a whole bunch of other people know that you can actually cut your dies with your dies. Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And don't forget, check to make sure that your dies, you don't have another die in your die cutting machine before you die cut, because this can happen to you too. And if you aren't a member of our Facebook group, we'd love to have you over there. There's so much inspiration in there right now from our new release. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends, and we would love it if you would join us. Just look for the group that has 49,000 plus members. There's also 3 security questions. They're not hard questions. They're like, what's your favorite stamping technique? How long have you been stamping? But we're just trying to keep the bots out and the spammers out, so we can tell by somebody's comments, their answers, if they're real or not. I mean, some people, the bots just say yes, yes, yes. And we know, how long have you been stamping? Yes, that's not appropriate. So answer the questions and agree to the group rules, and come on over and share your Gina K Designs inspiration with us. We'd love to see the cards you make, and it's a great place to find other inspiration for the stamps and dies and stencils and embossing folders that are all Gina K in your collection. And if you missed any of Brianne's links, Brianne, thank you so, so much for helping everybody today in the chat. But if you missed any of her links, you can find everything I used here today, and it's still in stock at ginakdesigns.com. Well, everybody, this was so much fun.
Wait.
Oh, we're going to give away a gift card, right?
We're going to give away a gift card.
Okay, all right. Tom's going to give away a gift card. Let's do it.
All right. Drum roll, please. Today's winner is Elena Davydova.
Hey, Elena! Yay, Elena! Congratulations, Elena. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that gift card emailed out to you. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stampin' Chat Live. And in the meantime, you all stay safe and healthy. Have a wonderful weekend. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.